hate when they avoid Alonso, even with a runner on base. It is so frustrating. Doesn't give me a chance. But when you do give me a chance, I will be there, and I will be waiting for you, and I will take it over that left field wall. Hey everyone, welcome to another video, New York Mets franchise mode, episode number 56. As in the last one, I called it a glitchy first inning because there was some weird stuff going on, like the third base coach Gary DiSarcina standing pretty much where the third baseman is supposed to be, way away from the manager's box. Then you also had the pitcher's head going crazy after serving up a home run, which makes sense because we hit a lot of home runs in that inning, which kind of added to the glitchiness of it, and having 11 runs in the first inning. But all in all, we were able to definitely get that win, pull off a blowout. It was nice to see. And we're just going to look to try to finish up the series on a positive note. We got Marcus Stroman on the mound. I've definitely struggled with him. And I think that this change to Pulse, this is going to be a really big indicator on just how much of a difference it makes. Because if I start pitching well with Stroman, then you really know that it has worked wonders for me. Jeff McNeil stepping into the dish with his .370 average. See what he can do against Velasquez. And he fouls it off. Oh, he wanted Robbie Cano, and I can understand why. A nice little good week to center field and the inning. Is that Jay Bruce? Oh boy, they're pulling out all the stops today. Jay Bruce is their starting center fielder instead of Nick Williams. Oh, he might still be hurt from what happened yesterday. I don't know. I didn't see how significant the injury was. Could you imagine that, though, if Jay Bruce is the starting center fielder of the Phillies? I mean, you get your offense, and we know that he could do well in this ballpark, but still. I don't know if how bad his defense is going to be will be worth it. I mean, even the Mets, who haven't had a traditional center fielder and always put corner outfielders out there, even they never try to have Jay Bruce in center. Even Nick Williams, though. I felt like Nick Williams is a more traditional corner outfielder. And McCutchen was a center fielder, but at his advanced age, he's more of a corner outfielder as well. No, he used to be in center field. I'm thinking maybe they'll put Kingery out there and slide someone else to second base. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what kind of a lineup the Phillies come out with. JD drives out now to left center field. Good squared up and off the wall. A lot of times, once you hit a fly ball out into the deepest part of the outfield, you're thinking maybe it's a home run. But with how that one was a line drive, I think it was 100 and something off the bat. That's going to be a line drive right off the wall. Yeah, that one came out 109. I mean, DeGrom's home run was 109 yesterday, but didn't get enough elevation in it. Not enough launch angle. 3-2 from Stroman. Struck him out. Got him on the changeup. Hadn't shown him hit yet, so decided now was a good time to go to it. I'm actually just going to intentionally walk Jay Bruce here. I'll face the pitcher. There is no reason I should face Jay Bruce with a couple guys on as a right-handed pitcher in Citizens Bank Park. There's just no logic to that. That one's on the ground to Robbie Cano. Makes the play. Nice scoop by Alonso, and the inning is over. Able to escape a bases loaded jam. Definitely some big-time pitching there to get Didi out with the strikeout, and then able to get Kingery out. That was a huge one. Like I said, just put Jay Bruce on. Don't even risk it and just face the pitcher. Now, that move I was able to make with Jay Bruce and facing the pitcher, not something the Mets are going to be able to do once the season does roll around because the designated hitter and all that. So I'm just curious to see how that affects not only how Mets pitching navigate other teams, but how are other teams going to navigate the Mets lineup, because it's going to go both ways. I just think that whole dynamic is really going to change the way things look during these games. Nimmo drives down out to right field. Harper looking up, off the wall. Oh man, I thought that thing might have flew out. Alonso, that one's over the bag. I like it. Didi didn't react at all. He saw what Didi watched it. He didn't go for the ball. It made me think it was going to go foul, because there are a lot of times in the game I feel like it looks like it's fair, but it's foul. Definitely take a nice little RBI single for Pete Alonso. How about driving your runs the old traditional way? Not always with the long ball. Especially for somebody like Alonso, who I'm always just hitting the ball over the fence. Nice to get a little single every now and then. Oh, that's a chopper. Can McNeil make a nice barehanded play to get Bryce Harper out? Oh, wow. 2-2 from Stroman. Struck him out. Got him to fish at the slider. Inning over. Nice pitching right there, and Stroman's getting fired up just like he does in real life after a big out in an inning. He's not even looking at the strike zone. You see him, he's just looking at third base. He's like, I got this. I know where the pitch is supposed to go. That kind of reminds me of Brad Penny because he was a guy that literally would rise up his leg and stare at the third baseman and then deliver. I always feel like those kind of deliveries are very interesting because how could you aim at the target of the catcher if you're looking somewhere else? That always blows my mind. I mean, it makes more sense if you're a lefty and you're staring at first base because a lot of times there's going to be somebody standing on first base and, you know, you kind of negate the chance of them stealing. But I feel like if you're a right-handed pitcher standing at third base, number one, there isn't always somebody at third base, and number two, it's not like they're going to steal home. So, I mean, I don't know. It worked for Brad Penny, though. He was a pretty good pitcher for a little bit. I just always thought his delivery was very unorthodox. 1-2 from Stroman. God, I'm looking. Oh, baby, that was a nice slider on the outside corner. Me putting that ball trail mark has made as much of a difference almost as putting on pulse, only because I know where his slider is breaking out, so I knew where I had to put it to make it hit that outside corner. I hate when they avoid Alonso, even with a runner on base. It is so frustrating. Doesn't give me a chance. But when you do give me a chance, I will be there, and I will be waiting for you, and I will take it over that left field wall. It's out of here. Pete Alonso, his 25th of the year, and the New York Mets extend their lead 3-0. Pete Alonso really can make these pitchers pay when they throw one over the plate, and like I said, if it's good timing, and in this ballpark, good chance it is leaving the yard. I mean, he's done that so much this year already. Yeah, you know what? I'm hoping I can see this like for the next 10 years. I would love to see Alonso just keep it in homer after homer after homer as a member of the Mets and just giving it to the Phillies. That definitely would be good to see. Because the thing is that, you know what? These other teams, like the Nationals that have a Juan Soto and like the Braves who have Acuna and Albies, like the Mets just really need to have their young stars as well. This way they can compete and combat all these different young players they're going to be going up against. I mean, we're going to see Bryce Harper for like 10 more years in the division, so I mean, we might as well have someone to counter them. Hazley hits one on the ground to Rosario. Oh, and he throws it away. Oh my gosh, Rosario, you just... Come on, Robbie. Get back there, baby. Ooh, I can't believe he actually caught that. And when he spun around, I was like, oh, there it goes. That one's dropping. Oh my goodness, can't believe that turtle got to it. 0-2. That one's on the ground to Rosario. This time, fires across the diamond, gets him out, inning over. Ay, man, why must you make my life more difficult than it needs to be? Look at Harper in that hair. Not giving Conforto anything to hit here. No surprise. Oh, but you gave him that one. Come on, get out of here. Let's go. It's out of here. Michael Conforto, his 22nd on the home run. I'll tell you, he's trying to keep up with Alonso. They're really just duking it out for that home run crown right now. I know Alonso has, 25 and Conforto has 22. That's the thing, because they really try to avoid both of these guys because of how well I've been hitting with them. So you saw it was a 3-0 count to Conforto. Nothing was close to the strike zone, but because it was 3-0, I said, maybe he'll give me something kind of decent. And that was kind of decent, and was able to just get it out and hit a nice home run for Conforto. JD drives out to dead center field. Good squared up. Jay Bruce going back out the track. Looking up, and it's out of here. JD Davis out to dead center field. His 10th of the year. And New York Mets lead is now 5-0. Sir Anthony Dominguez coming in, serving up back-to-back homers to Conforto and JD. Not exactly the way you drew it up if you were the Philadelphia virtual Phillies. And JD, I mean, it's nice to hit one out there. That was another line drive. I think Conforto's was 109. This is 104. And again, with this stadium, it just allows for more things to happen. I mean, whenever I look at that center field wall and I see a center fielder go back on a ball, it makes me think of that catch with Aaron Rowand in 06. I mean, the way he just went up there, took away Xavier Nady's extra base hit with the bases loaded, and just completely crushed his nose. Oh my gosh, that was so wild. And how old? I was like 10 years old at the time. And I was just like, oh my God, that guy broke his nose going up against the wall. Like, it was the craziest thing to me. I don't know. It still is pretty wild to me because I feel like I haven't really seen anything else like that ever since. So, I don't know. And then, like, I feel like Rowand wasn't really the same player after that. He had a couple nice years with the Giants, but shortly after that, I mean, his career didn't last much longer. 3-2 from Stroman. That was hit on the ground to Alonso. Nice flip over to Rosario. Back to Stroman. Double play. It wasn't really a flip out. It was just a throw. But I was trying to focus on what's going on and not mess up. Even though I don't have much control over the throwing, And after that play with Rosario earlier, I'm considering doing like that setting where a meter pops up when you're throwing the ball, but I don't know. I feel like it might lead to even more errors because then I have to focus on something else. And I have to do enough focusing as it is between the hitting and the pitching. Like, I mean, I really don't need more. This game hurts my brain enough. And again, we are going for like more of the sim experience, and if there was a ground ball to short, you would see a big meter popping up. And if it did for Rosario, it probably would be red usually. Oh, speaking of which, here's a ground ball to Rosario. What does the throw say? Oh my God, that thing was off the line, man. Good thing Alonso was able to get to it. Inning over. And Stroman's day over, by the way. I mean, he's yellow now. Not going to push him. I am so happy I was able to get 6 score innings on Marcus Stroman against the Phillies, so we'll definitely take that. Oh, God. Come on, Familia. Move that butt. There we go. Oh. Imagine if Familia just kept going and knocked him out. Just checked him going across. I know this isn't Mario Baseball, but I don't know. Just the way Familia was coming on. I mean, he's a big fella. And that's one of the things that people have been talking about. Oh, Familia lost all this weight. Familia lost all this weight. He's coming into season in shape, whatever. I'm like, what does Familia losing weight have to do with him being a better pitcher? Like, I have no idea. What is the correlation there? Familia has a tough time throwing strikes and throwing quality strikes. How does him being lighter help him do that better? I mean, I really don't understand that. Like, Familia, the thing about him is that we've seen him for a long time now, and we know there's good Familia and there's bad Familia. There are times where he could be lights out, and there are times where he could be straight out awful. And last year, far too often, we got the straight up awful Jerry's Familia. So him being lighter, I don't even think that changes that. That's my 2 cents on that, because I know it's been something that's been talked about a little bit. I haven't said much about it because I don't think it's a significant thing for me. Like, I need to see real performance on the field. I need to actually see Familia put up zeros and get batters out. And the same goes for Edwin Diaz, who's been showing all these slow motion videos of him pitching to a hitter that's just standing in the batter's box, not even swinging. So that doesn't impress me either. And Marcus Stroman's bullpen sessions on the beach or in the street, that doesn't impress me either. Like, show me when we that's the other thing. This money thing is getting out of hand. Now everybody's like, oh no, we need our money, and the owners are complaining and the players are complaining, while hockey and basketball and football and every other sport in mankind does not have a money problem. And if anything, they have more health concerns than baseball does because they're more contact sports. The players are more in close proximity to one another. But all those sports look like they're going to come back no problem, especially the NHL. So, I mean, and they're not having any money problems at all. Look at the NBA. So, MLB, what is your problem? Figure it out and just get it done. I mean, there's no excuse anymore. I mean, before I was like, you know what? I'm with the players, Arizona, don't want to be with your families, double headers, 7 innings. But if you're telling me we could play in New York or empty stadium or Florida empty stadium, and the basketball, I mean, they're even trying to get some families there with them in Disney. There's no excuse anymore. Figure it out. I mean, everyone took a pay cut this year. Everyone lost money this year. Get over it. I mean, owners lose money, players lose money. Let's get it going again. I mean, don't do this, because you know what? Then you're just going to, I mean, I know Blade Snell doesn't want to risk getting the Rona and all that, but then what's going to happen is that you're not going to have any baseball, right? And owners and players aren't going to like each other. We get that. Then come 2021, when they have the CBA thing, it's going to be a strike. So, I mean, now you might just have a year and God knows however much next year of potentially no baseball. And even if we do get baseball next year, it's not going to be on time with the strike, and there's just going to be more arguing and complaining, and we don't want to hear the drama. We really don't. I know the players want their money. I get that. I know the owners don't want to spend their money. I get that. But still, the other sports aren't having a problem. You shouldn't either. Harper hits one right back to Familia. Throws onto Alonso, and a really nice 2-inning outing by Jerry Familia on only 13 pitches. You know what? Based on his pitch count, I could go 3. I'm not going to because that wouldn't be realistic. I was talking about how bad Familia was. There's no way we would get 3 scoreless innings out of Jerry Familia, so I'm just going to pull him there. I don't know, guys. What do you think Luis Rojas would do in this scenario? 5-0. You know, these Phillies coming to bat. Rhys Hoskins, Didi, Real Muto. And for me, I want to save my back end of the bullpen, my 3 guys, Lugo, Betances, Diaz. I want to save them for my next series, which is against the Dodgers. The same kind of goes for Justin Wilson, because the Dodgers have plenty of lefties. The guys that come to mind, Cody Bellinger, Gavin Lux, Max Muncy. I could be missing some others off the top of my head. but I do want to save Justin Wilson for that series as well. So I'm leaning towards Brad Brock because he's a guy that's kind of, he's all right. You know, I don't really need him for the Dodgers series. So I feel like I could go to him. But 5-0 isn't 15-0. So I could still see the Mets using one of their better relievers. Maybe a Betances, maybe Diaz maybe. I feel like any of these guys really could be used. So I don't know. I mean, let me know what you guys think the Mets would do. Because it's not so much what I want to do is use Brock. But I'm trying to keep this realistic as to what the Mets would do in this scenario. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe Betances. Ramos drives that fastball out to center field. Good squared up. Jay Bruce going back, looking up, and it's out of here. Wilson Ramos leaves the yard for his 11th home run of the year. It is now 6-0 New York. Hector Neris coming out of the Phillies bullpen, and first pitch right over that center field wall, giving Jay Bruce a bit of a workout out there, looking at all these home runs. And that's really unfortunate what happened to Nimmo. Well, they say it was when he crashed into the wall in Atlanta, but also there was that one time I think he was going back on a ball, like the way he turned his neck, and that's also what messed it up. So I don't know, man. It's so tough because with something like that, with a line drive, I mean, you have to turn quick, and that's just not good for the human body and the neck. So all that is definitely concerning if you are an outfielder. Oh, McNeil gets a fastball right over the plate. Good. Jay Bruce looking up, and it's out of here. Jeff McNeil leaves the yard, his 17th of the year. And New York Met lead is now 7-0. Well, that makes the decision between Betances and Brock a lot easier. Obviously, it's going to be Brock now, up 7-0. Might even be Paul Sewald, but I think I'll just stick with Brock for now. Jeff, I mean, he's another hitter that I feel like his contact rating is so good, and his power is good enough that if it's a good timing on a pitch pretty much right down the middle, McNeil's going to drive it out. We definitely saw that power in the second half when he was hitting all those home runs, even though we did see the batting average slip. So I mean, if we do get baseball, I'm curious to see what kind of McNeil we get. And they're pulling Hector Neris. Wow. David Robertson is a guy I really wanted for the Mets. I wanted him over Familia and over some other guys. But it didn't happen. The Phillies got him. The reason why I wanted Robertson is because I felt like he was so clutch with the Yankees. I felt like this guy, you know what? He came in and he was consistent. He isn't a guy that has control problems. And I felt like that was going to be really important for the Mets because when you look at their two guys, Diaz and Familia, both those guys, they're so inconsistent. Like, you get good or bad. Like, and what I mean by that mostly is the control. Like, there are guys like Lugo who just come out there and they throw strikes every single time. Every now and then they might give up like a walk-off home run or something like that, but still, they're going to at least throw strikes. And that's not a given with Familia and Diaz, but with David Robertson, he comes in and he throws strikes. And I felt like he got out of a lot of big jams for the Yankees. Even if there's runners on base, he still could get out of it. He did well in the playoffs, he did well in New York, and he did well in Yankee Stadium. All things that should translate over if he were a New York Met. Obviously, that didn't happen, and we didn't really get to make a full evaluation of David Robertson because of the injury that he had with Philadelphia not being able to finish out the year. So I'm curious to see what his second year of Philadelphia would look like. And I think, you know what, you're saying, oh, well, how about Betances? He did well as a Yankee, and he pitched in New York. He pitched in Yankee Stadium. Well, here's the problem with Betances. Number one, he's one of those guys like Familia and Diaz who control is not given. It's inconsistent. You're going to get a good Betances and a bad Betances as far as command. Then you have to take consideration he's coming off a major injury, which is the Achilles tear. Not exactly the easiest thing to recover from, probably the hardest injury to recover from. Then also you have to deal with the fact that he is over 30. So, I mean, I just think that there's more risk signing a Betances than there was signing a David Robertson. Yes, Robertson got hurt last year. We don't know what is going to happen for Betances this year. I mean, if you remember when spring training was still going on, his velocity was down, and it's like, oh, well, it'll come back. You know, the same thing happened when I was with the Yankees or whatever. Like, again, we don't know that for sure. So, I mean, I don't know. I still think there definitely was risk involved with Betances. I feel like it was a move they had to do. They had to do something to make the bullpen at least a little better. And I still believe that there's a lot more work to be done for that bullpen. Last strike for the Phillies. 1-2 from Brock. That one is hit back to Brock. Fields it. Fires over to first. And the ball game is over. Put it in the books. New York Mets win a nice one, 7-0, and complete the sweep of the Philadelphia Phillies. A very nice bounce back for us after the Atlanta series where we did not play very well at all. Marcus Stroman pitched so much better this outing. I mean, having Paulson, I feel like made a huge difference because, and also putting that ball trail marker on, because Stroman's pitches have a lot of movement between his sinker, his cutter, his slider, his changeup. So they all move not only down, but they move kind of in a diagonal form. So just knowing where they break and understanding the Phillies hitters in this series, I made it a point of emphasis to throw outside pitches to both Harper and Gregorius and even Jay Bruce, because I know all of their lefties are heavy pull hitters. So I didn't want to give them pitches they could pull. I want them to have to go to the opposite field, which Harper did once in this series, and that was it. Didi didn't get me, and Jay Bruce didn't get me. So that was. I know that Rhys Hoskins is really good power here, so I made it a point of emphasis to not give him anything over the middle of the plate. I tried to corner him as much as I could. He drew his fair share of walks, but he also struck out a little bit because his discipline and vision isn't the best. His contact isn't the best, so he is going to strike out. So that's what I was going for with him. McCutchen and Segura, I mean, I just felt like for the rest of the years, I just tried to not throw anything down the middle, and I tried to just have good timing on my pitches. And then with my slider, I try to keep it on the outside corner, and I'm missing my slider like 90% of the time. When I was missing with my slider, at least it was a ball instead of right down the middle, a hanging slider for a home run. So I feel like I would much rather walk somebody than give up a home run. And I think that executing that game plan really served me well in this series, able to put together some good games, especially yesterday and today. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. If you did, leave a like, comment what do you think about the Mets, about the Phillies, about Betances, David Robertson, Jerry's Familia, Players Union, and the owners, and hockey and basketball coming back. And, you know, until we find out more information about that, you can hit the subscribe button. Makes me feel better, makes the win all that much sweeter. Until the next one, be safe, be smart, be healthy, and have a good one, everyone.